Collecticon 2026. So I have returning champions from previous Collecticons. Make a little noise. Woo! Your staff, you don't count, but he counts. Well, welcome back our old friends, and I will welcome our new friends if any of them are here, but that's okay. First day of the show, everything else, so. All right, so we're gonna do this for cameras. We're gonna do this about 15, 20 minutes, and in case somebody walks on in, and at any point you have any questions, go ahead and jump on in and a lot of fun stuff. He's recording it, so you don't necessarily have to. But if you want to take pictures, feel free. Our first guest is an artist, animator, tattooist, and designer whose body of work includes Sanjay and Craig, Ben's Classic Tales, and of course, Bob's Burgers. Today he joins us to discuss his ongoing artistic journey. Please welcome Jay Howell. Thank you. So, all right. Well, whenever I was told a guest, I like to do the origin story. So, take it from the beginning. How'd you fall into this?
It was kind of it's kind of a roundabout story. I went to art school in 1995 for 2 months, and it wasn't for me at all. And I decided I was going to just do skateboard graphics and kind of figure it out, try to be an artist, and like a fine artist. to tell you the truth, that was like my original goal, I guess. And then I did. I just fell into doing tons of skateboarding graphics and making comics and underground zines and things like that.
Yeah, it seems like, if my timeline is right, I think you kind of came in on the last I won't say gasp, but the last era that fanzines were anything.
I think so, yeah, for sure.
Jay, Darren gave me one, so.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you believe this turnout?
I love it.
I deserve it.
But yeah, so he came in it was that last era of fanzines.
Yes.
And then after that, because people were already kind of pivoting to online stuff, but fanzines, it's one of those things that needs a really good documentary.
Yeah, for sure.
So not just like the underground stuff, but I'm talking like that 21st century fanzines, because again, there's so much good stuff.
Amazing, yeah. Tons of great artists and such amazing personalities.
Yeah, and it really did, and everybody that aware of what's going on and stuff, but yeah, between like the bands doing their little underground stuff, going to Kinko's, that was something.
I mean, we used to have to go to the copy store, and Kinko's would give you like a cartridge with a counter on it.
Yes.
And it would it'd be like 1 copy, 2 copies, 3. And so I'd do like 10,000 copies, and then I would drop it on the floor by mistake, and it would mix up the numbers, and you'd pay for it. I'd be like, hey, it says 10 million copies, and they'd be like, how many did you get? I'd be like, 10.
Yeah, 10. Just wanted to do it with friends.
We stole all those for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just a really fun era, and very indicative of the skate punk culture at the time,
absolutely.
too, which had its own little sort of path. That's probably a discussion for a different time, but yeah, the 21st century, it really hit a really good epoch, and so much stuff going on in that whole scene. And it just splintered off into so much stuff. Everything from the animation work, You're Done, the underground stuff, Jackass.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was just all spun off from that, from guys who just basically mastered skateboarding, and then mastered that, and then either kind of evolved into like the arts or tattooing, sports too. So it's a great time.
It absolutely has been. Skateboarding has given me everything, and I still work with skateboarding. I was just in Mexico City with Vans for the last 2 weeks, working on projects with them. So I'd never stopped working in that community.
Nice. When did you hook up with Lauren?
So I was working at a coffee shop in San Francisco in the early 2000s.
Which is how everybody gets discovered.
Yeah, I met everyone there.
Well,
it was amazing. Laura lived around the corner, and he came in one day with a buddy of mine I didn't know they were friends, and I was like, he's like, you should meet Lauren. He likes cartoons and zines and stuff also. And I was like, oh, cool. And he did Dr. Katz, and he did like home movies, and I was like, oh, that's so sick. Like,
and Lucy Go to Devil, which
yeah,
I think is very undervalued.
He was working on that at the time.
Oh, okay.
We met. And he was super frustrated because Adult Swim actually asked him to, I've never heard of this before in my life, but Adult Swim was like, hey, can you re-pitch your TV show to us? And he was like, what? Like, it's already on the air. And they're like, yeah, you have to pitch it to us again. And he was just like, all right, bye. So he just completely abandoned that. And he was just like, I don't know, I'll just talk to him a second ago actually, but I don't know what his process was, but he's just such a busy, has folders upon folders and stuff. And he started coming in the morning, and I just hand him zines, hand him comics, hand him zines. And it was just like, we just became buds. And he'd come to my art shows and stuff. And then one fateful art show, he's like, Jay, you ever think about making a cartoon? And I was like, No, sure, man. I mean, that sounds cool. And he's like, I got an idea. It's about a family of cannibals that lives next to a mortuary. They steal the dead bodies and they make burgers, and it's called Bob's Burgers. And I was like, that's just brilliant, man. Let's go. You know, so it changes quite a bit from there.
Visually,
it was nuts at first.
Yeah, but I imagine it must have been. What we became known as the primary characters. I mean, was there any like really significant? Like out of the gate, did they have the basic look and just got fine tuned?
I mean, like all his shows, he really wants to like define himself as like not the traditional kind of like, you know. All of his shows look pretty different, you know, like from Lucy, from just like, you know, toys basically to like shaky Dr. Katz. I think he's always trying to define himself, not speaking for him, but like I think his work kind of states that. So he was looking for something no one has seen before. And then, you know, Fox gets in the picture and then we tighten them things up.
Yeah. What were some of the notes you were given?
Oh my God, he would just send me these emails that were just like 3 pages of like ideas and thoughts and feelings about characters, and, you know, they're just like, just all this stuff. So I'm just trying to whip stuff up, and I'd ride my bike down to his studio down the street, and we'd talk about it, and then I'd go home and I'd work on it. And I'd ride back, and it was just back and forth for years. It was fun. it just kept evolving, and the more people got involved with it, it just kept snowballing. I thought it'd be over, you know, but you know, I quit the coffee shop, and I was able to like, you know, have income for the first time in my life. I owe him everything, really. That's
always a good thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Changed my life.
So nominally, what was kind of your job? You're initially the way too, but I mean, were you ongoing with like, okay, we're introducing a couple new characters? I mean, were you involved with their visual look, or at that point was that sort of farmed out?
No, it was like until the first season started, I was just like continually working on tons of concepts, tons of drawings, background people, how things could look, you know, and then eventually that's, you know, start hiring more people on, but I'm, you know, originally the concept and character designer.
Cool. And how long was that for?
Years.
Yeah.
It was a long time. Yeah, to like from like 2000 something to 2012 at least. Yeah.
That would certainly do it. What was was there ever something that you just put your foot down and say, no, I think it should look like this, that you succeeded on?
The funniest story was like Tina was a guy character. And it was another brother. And the drawing, I look back on it, the drawing sucks. I'm embarrassed to even think about it. But at that point, though, I was just working so much on the show. He was like, I want it to look like this and this. And he was explaining stuff. And he's like, don't make it look like Enid Coleslaw from Ghost World, okay? And I was like, I'm going to make it look exactly like Enid. I was just like, no, I'm going to do that.
And Tina has kind of become a cartoon sex symbol.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, which is like, she's like the mom bot and everything else,
yeah.
But it's out there.
It's my favorite character.
All that stuff too. For you, what was the best thing to come out of it?
I mean, just a career in cartooning and animation that I just didn't know I had. I mean, I thought I'd be just doing skateboard artwork and kind of like just getting into the art world, and, you know, like, I mean, I was doing weird stuff, like even like, you know, applying for like programs at the Museum of Modern Art to try to get my art seen. You know, I was trying to get like, not a scholarship necessarily, but just trying to like get seen like crazy. And like the diversion for me, like career-wise, it's like, oh, that's what you do. It was like a light just turned on, and it's changed my life.
Yeah, you mentioned you were just in Mexico for it. I mean, what are some of the projects, like maybe outside of this, but either advertising, design? I mean, what's some of the stuff that you've done? I
mean, I've worked for Playboy, I've worked with Gucci, I've worked with like skateboard companies, I've worked all around the world of different brands. I just try to find people that I think that might vibe with, and I just try to figure it out, you know. So it just keeps working. Like I work with DWP. That's why I'm here actually, because of Danny Wimmer, because he's friends with the people that put this on. So I go out, I design all the concert, I do merch and all sorts of visuals for the, you know, do meet and greets around the country year round. So it's been incredible. Really, I'm blessed.
What's the unfulfilled dream project?
I don't know. What I think is slipping further and further out of our grasps is getting TV shows made. You know, it's like back in like the early 2000s when you had like everything, Flapjack, regular shows, SpongeBob, you had just like so much stuff coming out, and people are just getting projects, and people just, I mean, all my friends who were illustrators, you know, like Lisa Hanwell, everyone, they just like had like, they all just got shows, you know? And nowadays it's just like, how do you get a show? I feel like I don't see anyone getting shows.
There was a great propensity if you had It was like comedians in the 90s, you know, like the gag that, they're giving away sitcoms at the airport.
Yeah, it felt like that.
And there was this really miraculous boom, and again, in the beginning of the 21st century, where it just seemed like, if you just had a really distinctive style, that would at least get you in the door for a meeting.
Yeah.
And you could just throw up some difference. Well, that's about a family that does stuff. It's like, oh, that sounds good. Here's a development deal.
Yeah, I mean, I've latched on to other big name celebrities like recently and stuff, and had like really great backing with awesome people, and companies are just like, well, we're just not making stuff right now. You're just like, what the hell? Like, I got A-list people ready to do a show. And then these companies like these, like some like Danny McBride, like Rough House or something like that, right? I mean, they're just, even those guys are like, we got to do something like that's outside of the system. Like, this isn't working for us, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom about it, but it's definitely a different world.
Man, that's we have this incredible plenitude of formats and everything else, and everybody's always screaming, for content and stuff like that. But it just seems everybody seems just so reticent to pursue anything new. Yeah,
it's weird. When I was doing Sanjay and Craig at Nickelodeon, I mean, we couldn't even hire guys. Like, they'd be like, "How's she gonna pay me?" Like board guys and stuff. Like, why would I leave this show and they go work with you? They're just like, "Oh my god!" Like, we couldn't get people to work on our show. And now I'm like, if I want to get a small cartoon produced for like a beer brand or something, I have the best artists, best board guys, best animators in Los Angeles, just like picking up the phone, whipping out work. So that's good, but it's also sucky.
Yeah, I think we're there.
It's a strange time.
Yeah, it's a very strange time. We're in a crazy, weird frontier of commercial entertainment. I do think that it's going to calm down a little bit.
For sure.
And it's like I always say this way too, because everybody's talking about, this coming in, and my attitude is always, it's a tidal wave, build yourself a surfboard and ride it.
Yeah. It's not pivot, really.
Yeah, ride it, and the only thing that sucks is that there's no lifeboats. You got to kind of build a surfboard and you can get yourself on it.
You gotta be resilient. You gotta pivot into different. And I feel bad because a lot of these kids, they go to Cal Arts and they come out and it's just like those jobs just aren't there anymore. And I'm like, no, I'm just doing commercial work now. And they're like, what? I didn't even think about that. Like, you gotta think about the whole big picture now.
It's the same thing with voiceover. Everybody wants to do like anime and stuff. It's like that's fun, but that should be at the bottom of your list. You need to be able to sell toothpaste.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And Owls use cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Until technology might even take that away. But that's topic for another.
Yeah, I'm working with Amazon right now on a project, and a lot of it is AI based, and it's really it's a real trip.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about it too. I mean, everybody's afraid of that boogeyman, but my attitude simply is, well, if you're innovative enough, the talent will shine through.
It's also that. Even like this convention is an example of people just want to have experience. And it's too easy to be able to be like, we see AI is the same stuff. It's just not interesting. People want one-on-one real interaction, and that's coming back hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, what's been the one thing you look at and say like, that's it, or what's something that you wish everybody knew that you did?
I don't know. I don't care.
That's fair. Oh, that's fair, man.
I'm just happy to be working. Really, you know what I mean. I don't really. I mean, I'm pretty like, as for what an egomaniac I am, I'm pretty like, I don't really go out and sing into everything I've done.
No, that's absolutely fair. So, all right, that's my capricious curiosity. Do we have a question?
Yeah, we have a question.
A question.
You don't need one if you don't want one. What's that? Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm definitely still working on a video game at Amazon right now, and that's super fun. It's challenging. I'm not producing it, which is calming, which is just like kind of this turning in characters and working on it that way, which is fun. I'm always just looking for new fun projects to work on. It's just been I decided like a couple of years ago I'm just gonna dig totally into commercial work and just get out there and see everyone in it. It's been amazing. I'm traveling constantly, moving around, doing lots of muraling, and I was just in Mexico City for 2 weeks. I'm here this weekend, and Sunday I leave to Detroit for a mural. Then I go right on tour with the band. So I'm just trying to get out there. Really.
I think Bob's Burgers just got renewed for 2 more seasons.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's going to be like Simpsons level type of thing. You know what I mean? And that's really what I wanted it. What's that?
I think it's going to go on indefinitely.
I think it's pretty, I mean, it's perfect. It's like the ultimate comfort show for people. People need that show. That it doesn't, it doesn't have an agenda for anyone. It just, they can watch it and relax and just have some, it's almost like a rest stop for a lot of people.
It's entrenched.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it has just it's a very stable, consistent audience.
Yeah,
And,
so they love
yeah.
it. Yes, and I love it too, you know, because it keeps me, as long as it's on the air, I stay somewhat there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, I think let's just make sure we went at least a few minutes there. All right, 123. What kind of stuff you got at your table?
I have some production art Tina shirts and some prints and some Magic the Gathering cards I made, which was really fun.
Oh.
So I've been working with them a little bit on just wacky stuff, and that's a whole other world of people. I just didn't know what a super awesome world that is.
CCGs, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
cool.
And I was running a gaming shop when it came out, when Magic first came out, like 94-ish, whatever. And I was just like, it's like, okay, this is cute, but when guys stopped buying individual packs and buying whole boxes of booster packs, that's when I was kind of like,
Yeah, it's wild.
yeah, I got the hair on the back of my head, like.
They have cool art directors over there that have a real line on a lot of illustrators, and it really supports a lot of cool dudes, and
No, it really is by his natures. Yeah, it's getting tactile art in people's hands.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's cool.
Yes, and a lot of opportunities for the autograph and stuff like that, and and of course resale.
Yeah, right on. Well, I'll be here all weekend.
Are you doing sketches?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, if there's no other further questions, very well then, Collecticon 2026, this was Jay Howell, and that was our time.
Wow. Very proud of myself.